This is the final fall edition of KMVC News. I'm Chaz Maddie. Missouri Valley's fall semester is in its final days, and that means final projects, final papers, and final exams. For TV students, it includes an in front of the scenes evaluation of everything that's happening behind the camera. So we'll see how it goes now, won't we? The late November and early December means performances in Missouri Valley's Eccleston-Mabee Theater. But low enrollment and programs ending have limited the fine arts schedule. KMVC's Colin Williams reports how that department is doing what it can so that the show can go on.
The Missouri Valley College Fine Arts Department has been erratic over the last couple of years. The only things left to show for it are the Repertory Dance Ensemble and the choir, the Valley Voices, both of which had performances last month in the Eccleston-Mabee Theater.
I wanted to do something to uplift all of us and give us something fun and communal to do together. That was all centered around building a community of love in this classroom and to then share that with the wider audience at Missouri Valley.
After the departure of longtime theater professor and director Harold Heineck last year, and the theater group disbanding as a whole, the responsibility of the department has fallen on these two groups. But with this also comes problems with recognition, recruiting, and retaining the members they already have.
The school has really struggled in the fine arts department post-COVID. There were a lot of things that needed to shift, understandably so, in 2020, and we just have not really been able to find our footing. And retention definitely is a struggle, but what I tried to do from day one is say, okay, where is everybody at fundamentally, and let's build ourselves up day by day to get to the point that we need to for the concert.
With the Fine Arts Department in the state that it is in, the future of it may come down to whatever happens next year, but for now, it is still here to stay. Colin Williams, KMVC News.
Wagner says he and Tori Spitzig are working on a collaborative performance for the Valley Voices and the Repertory Dance Ensemble. The Missouri Valley men's soccer team advanced to the NAIA National Tournament site with a 2-0 win against Louisiana Christian in the second round, only to play the Mid-American Nazarene for the second time this season in the round of 16. The Vikings beat the Pioneers 2-1 in early October, but those Pioneers were struggling then, and MNU is still the defending national champion. Kazuki Hashimoto hit the right post with 1 second remaining. The Pioneers advanced to the national quarterfinals with a 2-1 win, eliminating Missouri Valley. Hashimoto scored the Missouri Valley's other goal in the 83rd minute. The Vikings played the final 17 minutes with a man advantage because MNU's Tom Chartier was DQ'd with the second yellow of the match, but the Vikings couldn't get a second ball past the Pioneer keeper in the waning moments. Missouri Valley made the final sight for an 8th straight year, won the regular season Hart Conference title for the 3rd consecutive year with a 9-0-2 record, finished 16-3-3 overall. Sam Green scored 17 goals for a 3rd year in a row, finishes his career as the all-time goals and points leader, 52 goals and 130 points. The Missouri Valley College women's soccer team was aiming for its first appearance at the NAIA National Tournament site since 1991, when the tournament had a much different format. Mill Valley was the national runner-up that year. Valley this year is the 14th seed, earning a first-round bye, and faced Truett McConnell in the second round to get to the national round of 16. In action on the 23rd, TMU's Alishka Dvorakova, driving the left side, fires a shot, saved by Valley's Marina Barba, but she puts in her own rebound. Her 21st of the year makes it 1-0. Minutes later, Carla Comona floats a ball past TMU's keeper. It's 1-1. Later, a chip in off Miriam Aldabo. Sylvia Maldonado fighting for it, gets her left foot on it, and she scores. That came 1:29 later. Valley's got a 2-1 lead. Second half, Ashley Johnson charging in, gets her 28th of the year. We're square at 2. waning moments of the game. Judith Foray, a little lob wedge, past the defense, find Ashley Arribas. She gets her right foot on it, knocks it past the keeper, and folks, that's the game winner. 3-2, Missouri Valley wins and advances to the national site for the first time in 33 years. Arribas with the goal is the first player to score 100 points. So Missouri Valley advances to take on the third-seeded Kaiser Seahawks in the national site down in Florida. But against the Seahawks, the Vikings fell in the third minute of overtime, 3-2. Carla Carmona scored on a PK to give Valley a first-half lead, but the Seahawks were relentless offensively, scoring twice and then controlling play. Marta Carrasco tied the game in the 40th minute off a corner kick, but the Vikings only had one shot in the remaining 50 minutes of regulation and never really possessed the ball in overtime. Missouri Valley's season ends with its first trip to the national site since '91, its first regular season conference title since '93, the conference's coach, offensive, defensive players of the year, a 10-0-1 mark in the league, and a 15-5-1 record overall. And once again, Ashley Arribas ends her career at Missouri Valley as the first player in program history to hit 100 career points. More than 700 women's wrestlers packed the Burns Center heading into Thanksgiving for the largest collegiate wrestling tournament in the world, women's wrestling tournament in the world. KMVC's Jimmy Sharunke reports it's one of the premier events of the women's wrestling season.
This isn't just about competition. It's about creating the way for the future generation in women's wrestling nationwide. From the high school level all the way to the Division I level, these ladies came down here from everywhere to give it all on the mat.
Yeah, I mean, this event turned out awesome. This is the most entries we've ever had. A little bit less than we anticipated at first, but still record-breaking at the end of the day. We had a great event. It ran smoothly. A couple hiccups, but we worked right through it. So, women's wrestling's grown a lot since it first kind of became a thing at the college level. Which Missouri Valley was the first women's wrestling college in the country in 1999. We established our program, and it went from 3 or 4 teams back then to now having over 150 teams. And this tournament just 3 years ago was only 350 entries. Roughly, and now we're over 600.
Less than 50 colleges that had girls wrestling. This year we're up to over 250, something like that, and there's constant programs growing every month. It's such a different sport. Not only do we have to worry about just competing, you have to worry about the mental aspect of it, you got to worry about the weight cutting and properly monitoring your health with that type of stuff. And it's just it's a constant battle, and as much as it's coined as an individual sport, it's a team sport because you can't get better without a practice partner.
I think it's where you're going to see a lot of young ladies go. You're seeing a lot more girls start wrestling at a younger age. You're seeing it being more acceptable in a social setting.
That's KMVC's Jimmy Sharunke reporting. Missouri Valley's Kalani Corbett won the title for the 207-pound weight class. Ashley Wetzel finished 4th at 131 pounds. The event featured wrestlers from all 3 NCAA divisions, junior colleges, in addition to the NAIA ranks. The Missouri Valley men's wrestling team hits the mats in a duel against William Penn on December 7th to start its conference season. The Vikings' best finish in the Central Missouri Open that preceded Thanksgiving belonged to Ethan Hurt with his 5th place showing in the amateur division. Valley's first home duel is against Graceland on January 17th, and that's just 1 week before the Missouri Valley Invitational, which is one of the premier wrestling events on the men's side heading into the final month of the season before the Nationals in March. The Missouri Valley women's basketball team began the 24-25 season better than any other in program history, sprinting to an 8-0 overall start, matching last year's 5-0 start to the Hart Conference season. To stay unbeaten, Missouri Valley needed to get past 6-0 Mid-American Nazarene on December 4th. The Pioneers, again, coming in unbeaten, 8-2 overall when they came to Marshall. And the night belonged to the Pioneers from the onset. MNU had a 20-point lead after the first quarter, and Missouri Valley couldn't chip away at that lead. 3 Pioneers scored more than 17 points. Ricky Schott did score 16 for Missouri Valley off the bench as she works her way back from an injury. Schott outscored all 5 Viking starters. Mid-American Nazarene wins the Battle of Unbeatens by 32. Mackenzie Mills scored 11 for Missouri Valley, and her 16 minutes was the most playing time for her this season. Valley tries to return to the win column against Mount Mercy on the 7th at noon. That game is available on the Viking Sports Network. The Missouri Valley men's team was scheduled for an out-of-conference tilt against Columbia on Thanksgiving Saturday, but the game was postponed until December 2nd because of snow. Valley lost that game in Como and was back to the floor just 2 days later to take on Mid-American Nazarene. And like in the women's game, the Pioneers rushed out to a big lead, holding an 18-point advantage 7 minutes into the game. But the Pioneers started missing shots, and the Vikings started making theirs as they slowly and surely whittled their way down to a 5-point deficit at the break, trailing 36-31. Jace Lance tied the game at 50 with a three with just less than 9 minutes remaining. After several possessions in which the Vikings could have taken the lead, Jarius Burnett buries a three to tie it at 63. In the final seconds, down 2, Lance kicks it out to Quan Smith. He had 17 points, but found the back of the iron there, and the Vikings lose 65-63. Valley falls to 1-5 in Hart Conference play, 2-8 overall. Smith finished with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Lance ended with 13 points and 6 steals. Missouri Valley's final home game for the 24 calendar is on the 7th at 2, and that is also against Mount Mercy. The Missouri Valley Rocket League esports team is the top seed in the conference, advancing to the championship final after sweeping the best-of-7 series against Mount Vernon Nazarene. KMVC's Elenio Exposito reports the win is a step toward one title now and possibly one in the spring.
The Missouri Valley Rocket League team has controlled this season. From the first game against Valorant starting 3-0, the team has progressed as the games have gone on. The Vikings have been named first seed several times this season.
I'm very excited. My players have been very diligent with their hard work. We had the ability to make it as far as we wanted to, which obviously the goal was championship. It's to be a national title winner again. We saw the indicators that we could be that team, and I think it became a team effort of everybody stepping on the gas at that point.
The Vikings have been preparing for the challenge they are going to face tonight, December 5th. The Vikings have their sights set on consolidating their position as a conference champion.
I feel like we improved too much because at the beginning of the semester the chemistry was like, we have a broken chemistry. So right now I feel like the team have a good chemistry. Everyone is friends.
After defeating the number 4 in the conference, Mount Vernon Nazarene, the Vikings hold their position, and after this win, the team has a berth in the last chance qualifier tournament that leads to the Rocket League National Championship in the spring.
This is a roster that is dangerous, that every team that comes into it does not know, how to break past an unbreakable wall. They have the capability to continue to do these kinds of things into the next semester and then even into the future semesters after this.
The Rocket League team aims to bring home the conference trophy. After weeks of intense practice and preparation, the team knows every pass, every play, and every decision will be crucial. The efforts of the season will come to a head. Elenio Exposito, KMVC News.
The esports team faces Illinois Wesleyan in the championship round on December 5th at 7. Students and fans can attend a viewing party inside the MVC esports building on campus for the Rocket League tournament grand finale. Some other end-of-the-semester notes. KMVC's Marshall audience can experience the hanging of the greens on the 5th. That's the night of when this is posting. And it can also experience the Student Research Symposium, which begins at 9 on December 9th. The symposium awards ceremony is around 4 o'clock that afternoon. Missouri Valley's spring semester, to note, starts later than it traditionally has, with classes beginning on the Wednesday following Martin Luther King Day. So, KMVC News returns in early February. Thanks for watching. I'm Chaz Maddie. This is KMVC News.